and welcome to Rose Creek Experience here at Mission Bay High School. My name is Cynthia.
And I'm Johnny. We're here today to report science news. We have Mission Bay High students out at Rose Creek to test and analyze its water quality.
In addition to water testing, our Mission Bay High School students, along with a San Diego State University scientist and members from the UCSD scientists in residence group, have all helped out.
This Rose Creek Experience project lasted for 8 weeks, was held after school in Miss Engel's classroom on Wednesdays.
The first series of tests will be identify dissolved oxygen and check pH levels. Let's head out to Rose Creek where our students are currently working.
So the Rose Creek Experience is just kind of to get students involved in the local ecosystem here. So finding out more about it, learning the process of science, learning how to test environmental factors, and since we're so close to this creek here at Mission Bay, I think it's important that they know about the creek and the effects that what we do here on campus will possibly have on the creek and how that could eventually affect the ocean.
We're here at Rose Creek and we are testing the pH levels, and we just got our first sample.
It sure looks like the water testing teams are busy collecting samples. Let's return to the classroom where Miss Engel has the equipment necessary to analyze these samples.
Make sure you have down.
It's dirty.
That seems like it's probably accurate, right? Our goal was to get water samples from 6 different locations along the creek, starting with number 1 upstream, so past the bridge, that's Grand Avenue, and then moving our way downstream up to number 6, so 6 different locations. So the process that they were following was basically going down to the water, collecting their sample, bringing it back into the classroom, and working in teams. Each team was assigned to a different location on the creek. Overall, they were able to do quite a few tests in one sitting. Dissolved oxygen, phosphate, nitrate, pH, some metal tests, copper, iron, chlorine, hardness. They did all of these tests and they learned not only how to use the equipment, but a little bit, obviously, about the water as well.
2, 3, 4.
But overall, they were pretty independent. They did all the testing on their own. And then what they did is most of them have to do with using kind of a pill that gets dropped into a test tube, and then they have to use a scale to read the color. So a lot of it was color changes that they were looking for.
First, this one is the oxygen level, and we filled it up, and then we stuck two oxygen tablets in it. And then that one is the nitrate rate. Then fill it up to 5 milliliters of the water sample and put in 1 nitrogen.
Looks like Rose Creek's dissolved oxygen levels are around 8 parts per million. That's within normal range. And it's good to know Rose Creek's pH range of 7.5 to 8.3 is also within safe and normal levels.
Along with our student scientists, we have Dr. Clive Dorman, a San Diego State professor who is helping our students analyze their water sampling results. Now let's look and see how the nutrient and bacteria level tests are going.
It's already in the case because if we touch it with our hands have bacteria on it already. So if we touch the pill with our hands, it defeats the purpose of testing the water.
That you buy at Home Depot or something like that, and then you dust it on that lawn, and then you introduced a source of nitrogen and phosphorus.
Mission Bay High School here has a little project, and so they're actually testing the water, looking for various chemicals and things and bacteria that are in it. And so this is an opportunity to sort of check the water out and see what it's in it and in how it varies under certain circumstances, and is the water quality sort of good or bad. And so it's a nice opportunity to sort of look at the environment, and it gives the kids a way to sort of participate in that and sort of get a little hands-on thing with the environment and sort of see what kind of changes there might be.
testing copper, and the copper content for the water is 0 pp. Dissolved oxygen, and what did we get, Katie? It's about 4. It's about 4. About 4.
This is the hardness, iron, pH, nitrate, and phosphate test. And then for the hardness test, we have to continue adding in tablets until the water turns blue.
Add a little more water.
Is it changing color?
Looks like it.
Try to shake it and see if it's changed colors. How many tablets have we put so far?
I believe about 4 tablets.
4 tablets?
It does look like about 2 parts per million. Now back to the classroom where students are getting results from nutrient and bacteria tests.
There's relatively low levels of the nitrogen and phosphorus in it, which means it's not terribly polluted. Sometimes in eastern estuaries, they get such a load that it builds up to huge amounts, and then the bacteria freaks out, and then it actually will strip the oxygen out of the water. And of course, then the various animals in the water, like fish, can't live. So because this has relatively modest levels of nitrogen, phosphorus, and high levels of oxygen, that means that it's not in a real bad, like it might be in some industrial estuaries where they haven't taken care. So those things generally look pretty good. This has really been tidied up, because so it looks like a nice mud flat, and it's really clear, and you have all these birds that are around in here, which is usually an indication of not being really bad. So all in all, I think that if you look at this portion, it looks like it's doing relatively well. However, I really probably wouldn't want to swim in here because of the restricted circulation.
Not only have we been doing these tests, but we've also been observing birds. So we've been going out and looking to see, are there resident birds that visit this area on a regular basis? How can what we're doing have an effect on the wildlife in the area? So by what we're doing, I mean, here at this school, on this campus, one thing the students have noticed is there's a lot of trash here. So there's a lot of littering going on, and we also have seen a lot of litter on the sides of the creek, which is an indicator that there is some pollution there. We do know it's happening. What we were trying to figure out is how much is that actually affecting the creek. One thing we did find right off the bat was actually a cormorant, which is a deep diving bird, and it was dead on the side of the creek, and it had metal around its neck. So that was pretty shocking to the students, and I think that they learned right there the direct effect that litter can have on wildlife in this area.
Not only did students collect Rose Creek water, but they also collected soil samples too. Then students took a field trip to Speywar, where they have Speywar scientists help analyze Rose Creek samples using a handheld X-ray heavy metal detector. What a great experience for our students to visit such a professional lab and work with real-life scientists.
They took 2 samples of soil from every location. So we had, I think, a total of 12 samples that we took to Speywar of our soil from underneath the water. And the goal was to have them use some handheld X-ray machines and figure out the heavy metal levels in the soil. And ultimately, what we heard from the students today was that the numbers all seem to be fairly average for this area. Most of our numbers are looking normal, so I think the students are getting the idea that none of the numbers are really jumping out at us as being really polluted or dangerous.
So we hope everyone has enjoyed Mission Bay's Rose Creek experience. I know I have learned a lot, and we hope you have too. Until next time, keep Keep your eyes open, keep asking questions, and remember, not only is science very important, it's a whole lot of fun.